Hey there, welcome to PaintBid Ninja. This quick video is going to explain and walk through just how simple and easy it is to set up an interior painting quote. It does assume a few things have been set up ahead of time in global settings and templates. I will touch on those briefly, just outlining what they are, but if you want more information on a specific setting or template, that will be covered in a different video. So I'm on the estimate page here, and I'm going to go click New Estimate over there. This is a custom template that I have set up. It's pretty basic, but it is custom to how I want to present my quotes. I'll label it however I'd like. I'll just go with an interior quote, and I will choose my customer here. If you want to add a new customer property, you just have to click through here. It is pretty intuitive, and I'll leave that to you. The general description over here, we have it set up just to cover a few things that sort of preps the client on what to expect and how to interpret the contract a little bit lower down. In this case, it does say full interior, so I'm going to just change that to selected work listed below. Project notes are going to be specific things like if the dog, the client's pet likes to run and we have to close gates or keep doors closed, that's going to be listed here. Be careful of a certain flower bush, what have you, that can all be listed over there. Time frame, I will go with next available slot. These can also be revisited at a few different points throughout the estimate, as well as the floating notes over here in the general description. So now that I'm on the measurement page, I'm going to click on the launch wizard. We'll go to the interior section, and I will choose what rooms I want painted. So these can be preset based on what you see regularly. And if you have a custom room that I don't do that often, I can add that specifically there. Next up, we're going to choose what we're painting in each room. So I'm going to go walls, ceilings, and trim. This is setting the tone for the whole estimate. And I can customize individual rooms lower down. So we're going to go with everything: baseboards, doors, door frames, window frames. For my prep services, I have just a generic interior prep over here, but I will override that a little bit in the laundry room, as well as modify the surfaces a little bit. So I'm going to go and say, actually the laundry room, we're only doing walls, and we want to do a drywall repair over here, as well as the general interior prep. So now that I'm happy with that, I click next, and I can input my measurements. So we're going to go with, we'll say 2 doors and 4 windows. Laundry room will be quite small. I'm going to override the height in the laundry room, and I'm going to change that to 7. It's a tiny little thing. The global ceiling height is up here, and it defaults to 8. Again, you can change that if you'd like, but if the whole ceiling throughout was 9 feet and just one room was different, I'd change that to 9. And adjust the little room over there. So if I want to add a one-off item like a mantle, I just have to click in here. This has to be sort of manually done because you can't derive it from the length and width. For the product, I'll just pick Deluxe Diamond there, and off I go to the next page, which is the review, and that'll kind of summarize everything that I'm seeing there. So this is the first time I'm doing it, so I'm not concerned, but if you are going back into an old estimate and working through this wizard, it will override the measurements you have, so you just have to be careful about that. Okay, so on this page, I can see the hours and the measurements kind of broken down by all the surfaces I selected. So you see in the living room, we want to do the walls, ceilings, all the trim, and we're going to do for prep, I didn't input that over there, so we're going to just kind of change that to 2 hours. And general interior prep in the laundry room, I'll say 1 hour. And then for the drywall repair, I'm going to go with, I'll just say 4 hours. And I'm just going to specify that it is a large hole behind dryer. And I'm just going to copy that down over here. This section is just if you want to have a different display, you want to write different words or whatnot to your crew versus the client. So with that all said and done, I can go over here and see all the different paints. So if I want to change a color, I can put that in there. and save it. If I want to change and reallocate from one product to a different, so you saw I did Dulux Diamond for the mantle. If I want to change that to the rest of the trim, all I have to do is click and drag that in there. Mantle will show up, and then there's no paint left for this Dulux Diamond. So I can just delete that and happily move on with just walls, ceilings, and trim. And you'll see how that's displayed on the next page. So over here, we're kind of prepped again, or prompted again to update this. I don't need to change that, but what I do want to change is the exclusions. So I'll show you quickly here. There are these floating notes. I can change the general description as mentioned, or the exclusions. So I'm going to say no walls no ceiling / trim in laundry room, and that will be my exclusions. Might also just say anything not listed above. Back out of there. I can add some equipment if I'd like. If I want to add a 3-way ladder, I'll just save that. And I can review all my rates here. These again are all preset. Show you the hours, the revenue, the materials, how much paint you're going to need, and that's all there. If I want to do an option group, that's quite easy. And I actually might just go back and change the living room, or sorry, the laundry room to an option. So I'm just going to click in here. I'm going to say that's optional. I'll create a new option group. I'll just call it the laundry room. Create that option group, save it, and we're all set there. So now I'm going to jump through to the, and you'll see on the review page here, the laundry room has been listed. The price is $560, and it's calculated based on that many hours, based on all these rates that I've input up here. The document editor, so this is going to be the client-facing proposal. So as mentioned, we have the general details over here. This is kind of what preps the client a little bit on just the broad scopes of work. Paint groups, so again, the exclusions, paint groups, what the project includes. So I'm on the document editor now. This is the just basic estimate starter template that I'm using. And this is the client-facing proposal. So it's going to show you general details, kind of that note that we'd checked out a couple times throughout the project. Exclusions, the paint groups table. So that's, again, all over here. I can click into this and update that if I'd like. It'll take me back to here. And I can, if I want to change the color, say they want the blue match, I can quickly modify that, jump back to the document editor, and you'll see that that's been updated in there. Then I have the sections here. So this is what's actually getting painted based on those images, or not the images, sorry, but based on the inputs that we did in the wizard. And images, if I wanted to add any images, I can go and upload here. If you're using the app, you can take, not the app, but if you're on mobile or a tablet, you can actually take pictures through here. And you're also able to connect through Company Cam. For the prep, that's all listed here. We've got the price and with the optional add-on of the laundry room. So when I present this to the client, I would just publish this. I could revisit the price if I wanted there, just to kind of maybe slip it under, a round number. And I can email it to the client here through this little portal, or I can preview the document, and this is what it would look like from the client-facing side. So we've got everything over here, and if they wanted to include or exclude the laundry room or any other options you put, that would just be toggled there, and you can see it updates the price. To sign off, they just have to put their info in there, and then you have an opportunity to sign off as well. This can be easily removed if you don't care to actually have your signature or company signature required, and I can just uncheck that there. So this is everything. It's all pretty straightforward. It's done. Took a little bit longer than normally would, just with having to explain a few things, But overall, done in about 5-10 minutes. The work order is also ready here. You can see the paint groups are set up there, so it'll tell me how many gallons for everything. And then for budgets, it's all broken down per section, per area, or per room, you could call it, with the prep. And then if the client signed off and went with the laundry room, that would be added in here as well. So there's, yeah, this is kind of everything. It's all quite modular. You can customize it as much as you'd like, and there is a large opportunity to really make it specific and custom to your style and your presentation style. So yeah, any questions, let me know. This is a cool opportunity to be more efficient and effective with production rate quoting.